Howdy, y'all. TheGooseFathr here. I had the pleasure of revealing 5 new great Stelle cards on stream today. If you just want to see the cards, they are the top link in the description below. If you want to see a more polished version of the reveal of these cards, they are the second link in the description below. That's just a produced video with all the card reveals. But I wanted to put this out. This was the on-stream live reveal today. We did a little bit more discussion about the cards and their context and how they played, just in case anyone wants the extra details. So without further ado, here is the live reveal of my 5 Stelle cards. Enjoy. All right. Let us see the new cards. Up first, let me get the this off the screen because it's not helping us here. First card, Red Lantern. Adjacent items have 10% crit chance. When this is flying, this has double crit bonus. Okay, again, my chat overlay is just a little too low here. I feel like it keeps crowding me. Okay, there we go. Maybe I'm a little too big. It's hard to say. All right, adjacent items have 10% crit chance. This is a passive item. It just automatically applies to adjacent items. This goes up by 10% per tier. So at silver, it's 20, gold 30, diamond 40. And if you get it up in the air, it doubles the crit chance. So at diamond, 80% crit chance to adjacent items. This is a single card that nearly single-handedly solves crit. It's pretty cool. It is 80% is a lot of crit. This is the first item. You made it, Talby. This is the first item that I get to show. This is the first of mine. So yes. That's crow's nest levels of crit in a small card. Yes, it is. Only for adjacents. And it doesn't give lifesteal. So, you know, there's some trade-offs here. But yeah, this can, why run this if you have goggles? Well, because not every board is a fly board, right? So remember, there's like tool boards, which might not like be able to get everything flying. Also, goggles takes time, whereas this is immediate. So maybe if you're getting into like a quick one-shot range and you can't spam haste your whole board to get goggles all the way up to speed. So goggles is also a way to solve crit. It's totally another way to solve crit, but it pairs almost entirely in haste boards, whereas this can work in any board in any situation. So definitely situational. You're not going to use it every time, but it's still pretty cool. Going to be nerfed like Vanessa's amulet. Honestly, it didn't get a lot of play. I did not see a ton of this card. So for one thing, you just like, it's not super strong early, so like keeping it around to keep upgrading when you are as cash starved as you are is a little hard, but it is something you might snap by later if you're just trying to solve damage, right? If you have other things solved but damage is the thing you need to solve, I think it's pretty cool for that. Yeah, but it being small, obviously, is, and passive, so it's constant. It's like the moment. Now, again, you might have to wait to get it off the ground till you get the double crit, but most of the big items that you're going to come swinging with need to be off the ground in the first place till they do that, right? So, yeah, that is card number 1. All right, thoughts, feelings before we move on? Any impressions? All right, let's go to the next one. They get cooler and more complicated from here for sure. Chicken Cannon. I gotta move chat because chat is in the way of the card. Chat, you're going over to the left. Chicken Cannon, deal 15 damage. Adjacent shield items gain shield equal to this item's damage for the fight. It is a toy. This card is legit. It's the coolest art. It's so good. That's so good, right? That's fun as hell. Yeah, chat, you're covering the cool card art. Okay, you can come back. You're out of purgatory, but just for right now. So, very good item. I agree with Rebenja. Can see it being nerfed cool though. I mean, you can see everything being nerfed. We'll see how everything goes. But so the way this works is if you damage scale on Chicken Cannon, you are essentially also scaling shield, right? So every second this applies its damage to the adjacent items. The upgrade tiers are just 10 damage each tier. So it goes from 15 to 25 to 35 to 45. But you can, all the other cards that we saw that add flat damage to cards would be adding shield scaling to this card. And you know how strong shield is early. So this is an incredibly strong early game item. It is stack shield on adjacent. So if you grab this, 2 adjacent shield items, you're off to the races day one. Mac's still going to be a problem, as Mac always is against shield boards, but it is a very strong in combat shield scaler that will scale itself and its shield scaling when you add damage. Who tells you this isn't the nerf version? Can't wait for this item to be animated. Oh man, yeah. What scales on upgrade? 7 seconds sounds slow. It is slow, but it's more of an early game item. So shield scaling is just strong early. So yeah, I'm not sure how much this gets play in the later game, but again, Stelle has shit tons of haste. You've seen a bunch of Stelle cooldown stuff. So she can solve speed problems, right? She has a lot of ways to do that. Yeah. I can't lie, after playing with it, I'd be surprised if it is nerfed. Not chicken cannon, that thing's legit. Yeah, oh, we're talking about the lantern. Yeah, I don't think the lantern will be nerfed. I think the lantern is good. Wait, scale itself? No, like other cards can scale this card's damage, and then this card applies that damage to the shield. So as this scales, its shield scaling scales. If that makes sense. Any questions on this card other than how cool is that fucking card art? And why are Bazaarian children playing with chicken cannons? I don't know. I guess not all toys are for children. Why is it a toy? Yeah, you know, kids of the Bazaar hit different. It's a tougher world. It's a tougher world. You have to learn to defend yourself. We're not ready to give you like full board bullet-ridden guns yet, but you can shoot around a chicken from time to time. It's not for TFM unironically, because it's not firing cannonballs. This is true. Is it for adults too? That's true, TheGooseFathr. Anyone have any thoughts on how to play this item? So we saw a couple of shield items. It's possible that you will see a cool item that has some synergy with this should you watch Rarish's stream, which we are going to raid next when Rarish does their live reveal. So hint hint, this card is cool, and Rarish has cool cards, so stick around for that. Spotlight, yeah, Spotlight could yeah, this could be adding shield to a thing that's then having the shield double. It doesn't shield itself, no, but you want this next to adjacent shield anyway, so Spotlight would be adjacent to the thing being shielded, right? You haven't thrown a cannonball in your childhood, did you have it? Did you have any a childhood? No. I think if you haven't shot a cannon by the time you're 10, your childhood's been wasted. All right, are we ready for the next one? How we feeling? We ready? Good, bad, the other thing? All right. This is where it starts getting spicy. Aerial turret. Deal 10 damage. Reduce this item's cooldown by 1 second. While this is flying, this has 1 multicast. Yes. The upgrade tiers are just flat damage at each tier. I think it goes 10, 20, 30, 40. Better Gatling Gun. 1 multicast at 1 second multicast at bronze. Yes. So this is how this card plays. Also, I would like to draw your attention to the drone tag. When we were looking at cards before, I don't know if you remember a little button, a little joystick that said charge adjacent drones 1 second. So, joystick, yes. You get aerial turret up in the air. There's one problem you gotta solve. At 7 seconds, it will swing twice and become a 5-second item. In 5 seconds, it will swing twice and become a 3-second item. In 3 seconds, it will swing twice and become a 1-second item with multicast. Okay? Obviously, early on, you usually make it the full fight. So this is going to be spamming people in the face on day one if you can get it in the air, even without solving any speed problems. This is a very cool card early. You build around it. This is like one of your early game build cards, and you want to build completely around it. You want to target to figure out how to get it in the air, and then you want to see if you can get it damage scaling or any flat damage increase, because obviously it's going to do a lot of machine gunning. Kara looks good with this, yes, because Kara gets itself and an adjacent item up into the air. So you throw Kara on the far left, you throw this next to it, bam, you got it airborne, and in under the 7 seconds. And then you use something like Joystick, which charges this, which means that you can get it doing that first, second, and third swing faster, which means you could get it down to 1 second faster. And then haste exists. So you can get this into the 1 second range. Like, those are problems you can just keep working on and solving to get this thing into the, into the burr range. Super strong, super cool early item. I honestly think I got really spoiled with my cards. I think I have some of the funnest cards. This is one of them. Yeah, it's very cool, very strong early game. Gatling Gun is too slow. When you get hit by it day 10, it's a cool item type. Probably good early game. Hold your breath, Hunty. Hold your breath. Wait a second on the Gatling Gun conversation. Let's hold up. Any more thoughts on aerial turret? Again, this is going to be a build around early game build defining card that you're going to slot in, solve the immediate speed problem, maybe a little bit of damage scaling, and just ride the high of this card for 3 or 4 days. Ride the tempo of it as you try to save money, so that when gold items start becoming available, you could buy one of the big cool build around items. So this is one of those items that is like good enough that once you solve the problems, it carries you, and you could stop investing in it as you start preparing for your late game. So very cool, very useful. All right, if that's it, we only got 2 more cards left. We can savor if anyone has thoughts or feelings. But if not, we'll go to an oldie but a goodie, a card you think you know but you don't. Gatling Gun. That's right, it's reworked. It's gorgeous. Gatling Gun. Deal 25 damage. This gains 5% crit chance for the fight. This has multicast. And the first time you use this item's cooldown is halved for the fight. So at 6 seconds, oh, you don't even know. You don't even know. We're not done yet. We're not done yet. At 6 seconds, this swings twice, gives itself 10% crit chance, 5 for each swing, and becomes a 3-second item that will continue to swing twice and give itself 10% more crit chance. Okay? That's a flavor lot. I think it's sweet. I don't know what the hell you're talking about. It's cool. The upgrade tiers of this are: it gains 5% more crit chance per tier, and it gains 1 second cooldown reduction per tier. I want you to think about that for a second. All other CDR is double, which is interesting. Yeah, all other cooldown reduction is being applied to the 6-second cast time, right? So yes, Hunty, at Diamond, it is in 4 seconds, it swings twice, and each swing gives itself 15% crit chance. So at second number 4, it swings twice and gives itself 30% crit chance. At second number 6, 2 seconds later, it swings twice and gives itself 30% more crit chance. By second 10, it's 100% crit chance. This thing is effectively doing damage every second. Every 2 seconds, it does damage twice, right? And it's self-scaling crit chance. It's got all the zoomings. Isn't there something in the game that gives damage for overcrit? I think there are skills and stuff that give you, I think there are skills, but they're not on pigs, so I'm not super familiar. So somebody else who knows more will have to hit you there. A Vanessa item, okay. There's belt buckle, swashbuckle, okay. Yeah, that's not something you're gonna have ready access to. But again, Vanessa can hunt for this because this is still on Lord Arkan. Now and Swashmonkler, thank you so much, Sean Tactics, first time chatter. Yeah, and obviously you could fish for Swashbuckle because it's apparel at the apparel merchant. So you could get access to this, but Vanessa can get access to Gatling Gun because it's still on Lord Arkan. Lord Arkan is a goddamn menace now. Like no joke. Like if you thought Lord Arkan was hard before, just imagine Lord Arkan swinging every 2 seconds with 100% crit chance on 2 Gatling guns. It is nuts. It is cracked. The man is a menace. Must be stopped, but it's very hard to be stopped. This item is just super cool. I've not entirely figured out how to build around it, although you do get it at silver, and sometimes you can just plop this in and go. And then if you get any damage scaling, it's good for a couple of days. But I feel like there's some crazy weapons like spam within combat damage scaling that I've never figured out, that utilizes this, it utilizes aerial turret, it utilizes all these like multicast cooldown reducing monsters that Stelle has, that if you can just get them into the fight a little bit faster with all our charge haste shenanigans, and figure out how to scale their damage, which means you might have to get them up in the air and use things like the gyroscope thing or whatever, then you can have like a really cool build there. I've never quite cracked it, but again, I have not played nearly enough games. I think there's a lot of space there. I think there's a lot of space. People are going to break things on Stelle that like that we have no idea about yet. That's just going to happen. It's going to be fun. I thought Stelle wanted peace. Yeah, but she understood she has to kill the old folk who want war. You know. Rivet or pendulum makes everything go wild with this thing. This is true. Yeah, it's such an activator item, right? It's like, yeah, it's such a good activator item. Just a 2-second multicast. It's crap. It's really cool. Okay. One more. Just one more. We only have one more. So sad. We're going through it too fast. Still. Any more thoughts or feelings on the old, new, great, and amazing Gatling gun before we see the final? All right, here is my large gold reveal. Vortex Cannon. I'm gonna take off chat for a second so we can look at that beautiful card art. Vortex Cannon's a large weapon, has a tech tag, 4-second cooldown. Deal 25 damage and all items start flying. Mine, yours, everybody's. Everything gets up in the air every 4 seconds. If I can stop them, this puts them back in the air. So just remember all the start-stop combos, all the things that do cool stuff when they're flying. This gets all the things flying. So just as a combo piece, super cool. As just a item, and concept, it's gorgeous. I fucking love this card. I love this card art. It's great. When any player uses a flying item, this gains 25 damage for the fight. The scaling at Diamond is its deal 50 damage. When any player uses the flying item, this gains 50 damage for the fight. So it swings every 4 seconds. That's pretty fast. It's like old lightning rod with half the cooldown. It makes everything fly. When anybody uses anything while it's flying, assuming they haven't stopped their stuff somehow and you haven't gotten it back up in the air with this, when anyone uses anything, this is gaining 25 or 50 damage every single activation, depending on whether this is gold or silver, right? So on its own, if you're running a bunch of items that can fly, nuts, right? Nuts. Super cool. I think the damage amounts are pretty well tuned. It doesn't end up being like, it doesn't end up ending the game in like 8 seconds, right? I think it needs to swing up into the 12, or it needs to go multiple times, because the enemy and you have to do a lot of spamming. But just, you've seen all the cool stuff you could do once everything's flying. So this can activate a bunch of haste. It can activate a bunch of shield. It can, you know, when things are hasted, you get crit chance on goggles. And you have, when things fly, get haste on headset. And so in those two cards in this, suddenly all of your items got haste and goggles spun through the roof, and this got a bunch of crit chance, right? Like, so many fun combos to do with this thing. Charge the item to the left of this for 1 second. When you use the item to the right of this, charge this 1, 2, 3 seconds. What are we talking about there? A rivet gun has been changed. Yeah, rivet gun was changed. Sorry, we're talking about the other thing. Yeah. So rivet gun is like a quarter as good at diamond. Yeah, and it's just, you're right, it's just a good activator for other flying synergies. It's just a really cool card. Now it's a large, so it takes up a lot of spots, but it gets everything in the air. So very strong. That's it. That's my load. That's all of them. We can go here to see all the cards. I am going to drop the link